Liverpool unbeaten in 5 now, 2 wins in a row. But Aaron, you are not convinced, and I think you might even describe Liverpool as a hot mess. Why do you say that?
We've become harder to beat, which is good. Defensively, We've started to look a bit more like a defensive, a defensive-minded team. Yeah. But in terms of attack, there still looks to be no real cohesion amongst the team. There's no patterns of play, and a lot of the commentators are picking up on this as well. It feels very like it's an over-reliance on individuals to just create a moment of magic. Drop the shoulder and find an opening. I don't see. Listen, we're trying to squeeze 4 central midfielders onto a pitch at the moment, and that's what it looks like.
Yeah, I think maybe that's a tactic to stop the bleeding, as it were, to bring more control. But I agree with you, Aaron. We're all happy with a win. We're happy with 2 wins in a row, 5 games unbeaten. At the same time, you watch the games, you watch the football, and it just doesn't get you excited. Is this a step in the ladder, Aaron, or is this just a Band-Aid or a duct tape on the leak, as it were? You think it's going to get better from here?
Do you know what? Winning breeds winning. So if we can string wins together, and I know we've got some games coming up. We've got Spurs at the weekend. We've got a week's rest. I'm worried about the players dropping like flies at the moment with injuries. Yeah, it seems to be a bit of an issue at the moment for us, and I'm not too sure what our 11 plus 3 or 4 subs looks like on the weekend. Yeah, it's hard to really know at the moment, Sam. If he goes out and wins the next 3 or 4 games, then that's only a step in the right direction. Hopefully, the cohesion starts to develop. You are starting to see little flashes of brilliance from some of these players. Curtis Jones specifically, I think, has been excellent. Yeah, he's done really, really well over the last few weeks. Florian Wirtz is starting to look like a player that's knitting play together. I don't know, maybe they're just starting to develop that cohesion now, but at the moment, it still looks a bit chaotic on the pitch.
Tottenham away is our next match. Then it's Wolves a week after that. Wolves at home. Leeds at home 4 days after that. And then it's Fulham away before we ultimately travel to Arsenal on the 8th of January. Theoretically, Aaron, 4 wins out of the next 4 before we face Arsenal. I'm not saying we're going to put pressure on Arsenal at the top of the table, but 4 wins in a row over the next 4 could really give this team a head of steam when they go in to face Arsenal. All eyes will be on that match, no matter how far back we are in the table. You'll be looking at Villa and probably Manchester City, hoping that we can get a result there. We've got to, I think, I'm not going to say easy because Liverpool haven't made anything easy this season, but we've got 4 games that we should win in the next 4. You mentioned it. No Salah now. Salah's, I think, gone to AFCON. No Connor Bradley, no Gomez. Maybe Frimpong comes back. The numbers are looking slim, Aaron, and I think Arneslot's hand, again, is going to be forced to play some of these players that I think we've all been kind of itching to see. Like maybe Rio Gamoa gets some game time. Maybe Chiesa gets more than 8 minutes a game.
It's ridiculous. Chiesa, look at the ball that he nearly landed a ball yesterday. It was about a 50-yard ball where he whipped it, and it was, the defender managed to just get his head on it. If I dropped at Salah's feet, that would have been pass of the season. It was that kind of stuff. And Chiesa the runs he was making, I thought it was very classy of him to make that pass to Salah. Put it on a plate for him. Salah skies it over. Chiesa could have taken it on himself easily. But it was like one of those moments where
Chiesa is just, I think he's in love with the team. I think he's in love with Liverpool, the club, and he wants it to work. He wants to be a team player. Incredibly unselfish. And he was still getting into really good positions at the end of the game. Still can only get 8 minutes every 2 or 3 matches somehow.
I don't understand it.
I don't think anybody understands it. But man, hey, maybe with Mo Salah gone to AFCON, no Gakpo, probably going to have to use a midfielder at right back, I would think. But do you see a possibility of Chiesa potentially
Bradley's only suspended, yeah? So
that's
Bradley's
true. Okay.
For one game, yeah. So Bradley's back.
That's true.
I think Frimpong's back in training.
I think so.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, it's good to get a couple of players back, but I mean, we are struggling for a squad at the moment. But listen, I'm hoping that maybe the plan all along was when Salah goes to AFCON, that's where the introduction of Chiesa comes in, because this guy has been terribly underused. I think he's been mismanaged, in my opinion. I don't understand what the issue is, because the guy plays with a smile on his face. He looks like he really does want to play for Liverpool. And every time he comes on the pitch, he changes the game. But for some reason, I don't know what it is, this guy cannot get more than about 5 or 6 minutes per game.
Yeah.
And it's hard to understand, because he just looks quality every time he comes on.
Slot really values work rate, and Chiesa works harder than anybody when he comes on. And maybe there's something we don't know about the numbers or, the health vitals of Chiesa. But I don't think there's any way around it, Aaron. I think he has been mismanaged. I think every Liverpool fan that keeps track of the games and watches the games sees it, because every time he comes on, we are dangerous. We are a different team in attack. And that's what I just don't understand. That's what's really frustrating. Even against Brighton, we scored in the first minute, and then for the next 60, 70 minutes, we just looked really poor. Chiesa comes on.
Yeah.
And I know it was garbage time. I know Brighton were stretched. They were trying to get a goal, but still, he knows where to be. Chiesa is a veteran of the game. He's not 23. Yeah. He is so wise. I'll put wise on that. He is wise on the pitch.
He's got a
and he's in
brain.
Good position. He's got a brain. He's got a football brain. You look at the goals he scored early on in the season. He knew where to be. And I think, man, if I was arneslot, I'd be starting him.
The fans know, Sam, yeah? The fans know. If you listen every game around about 60 minutes, 65 minutes, the fans start singing Fede's song.
Yeah.
Mate, they're telling arneslot, we want to see this guy in the team. Everybody's telling Slot, get this guy on, yeah? We need Fede on the pitch. If he was getting 20, 25 minutes a game, I could see Fede being very, very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he would contribute. He'd be able to contribute a hell of a lot more than what he is doing. And listen, his stats are still phenomenal in terms of, goal creation. I mean, he should have walked off with an assist yesterday. But Salah, unfortunately, I think it bobbled just a touch in front of Salah and it come off his ankle and went up.
Yeah, Salah was leaning back, nose over toes.
He was leaning back, yeah.
Yeah, he was leaning back. We need more Chiesa. The only viable excuse there is that Arne Slot still seeing maybe just not wanting to overwork him, and maybe he was saving him for January when Salah's gone. But still, I don't buy that, and I don't think that's a good excuse. So
no, that's just that is an excuse. That's the only excuse I can come up with. I don't understand it. I think a lot of people don't understand it.
Yeah, no, it's weird. Well,
agreed.
5 unbeaten, 2 wins in a row, Aaron. We're on the right track, I'll say, even though we haven't arrived, but things are looking better.
Agreed.
And I saw a stat earlier today, and this is a good stat. No Premier League team has created more chances than Liverpool, who've created 197 on the season, and no team has a higher expected goal tally, 30.2, than Liverpool this season. That's a lot of, coulda, woulda, shouldas. But there's light at the end of the dark tunnel, I think. And maybe there's a plan we haven't seen yet. Maybe there's a plan, and maybe we're going to start to see this team click. We're starting to see individual players click. You mentioned it. Florian Wirtz starting to click. He was fantastic against Brighton. Hugo Ekatike, fantastic. Curtis Jones might be a key that unlocks parts of this team. Kirka is looking better. You mentioned that. He looked better. I think he's looking better without having to play with Gakpo on the left. So there's individual improvements, and maybe those things will start to fuse together.
Yeah, Jones is the biggest surprise for me. Jones, now that Jones a couple of seasons ago used to play very safe. Yeah. It would be very, very kind of sideways, keep the ball, very controlled, very slow in terms of his progression. One thing that I've noticed about Curtis Jones now is he picks the ball up, and the first thing that he's looking at is moving it forwards.
Yeah,
he is changing into the player that I wanted him to be. Listen, it's a breath of fresh air, especially with the Scouser in the team as well. You know, the fact that he is a Scouser and he's a Liverpool lad. You know, I'm happy for Jones that he's grabbing that spot at the moment. He is.
I think so.
I think McAllister should be a little bit worried with Curtis Jones's form at the moment.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, there's some good stats that came out after the Inter Milan game. Curtis Jones has completed 92% of his passes made under high pressure in the Champions League this season, 115 out of 125. Among all midfielders with 100 plus attempted, only Frankie de Jong and Vitinha have a higher accuracy. He is becoming more of that clinical, a player that can make those incisions through the defense with his passing. Liverpool haven't done that. They haven't done that at all. It's been too safe, and it's been just passing side to side and backwards. But Jones has really come on and changed this team. I mean, it's funny how even a simple pass that just skips one of our players is like, oh, wow. We just haven't seen that. We haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's been too safe. It's been sideways and too safe and slow. Everything's so slow. And listen, this, I don't know whether it's the Dutch controlled method, it's that Dutch football where, everything's about slow progression. But I mean, ultimately, we miss that kind of electric Jurgen Klopp-style football where it was back to front really quickly. You're moving the ball, zipping the ball into a player. I love it when someone zips the ball into a player. Steven Gerrard used to do it. He'd play the ball into feet and he'd whip it into feet. He'd zip it right as fast as you could into feet. And it was based on your skill level, whether you can control that ball and be able to do something quick. Yeah. I miss that. Dominic Szoboszlai's got it in his locker as well, actually.
He does.
He's been influential this season, Szoboszlai. I've been very, very impressed with Szoboszlai this season.
Yeah, I think there's a part of Liverpool's DNA, Aaron, that just doesn't mesh with the core of what this club is to play slow, boring football. I mean, even back in some of those dark days, 20 years ago, we still had some, I don't know, maybe not the entire team, but we still had some swagger about us. Yeah. We could put those beautiful, passing connections together and score some beautiful goals. I mean, think about Gerrard and Torres combo, Gerrard and Suarez combo. We didn't win a whole lot during those years, but man, the football was at times really, really good. So
think about the big teams there, though. Think about the teams there, though, Sam. Arsenal were big, Chelsea were big, Man United were. These were huge teams at the time. Yeah. Where if you did pick up an FA Cup, it was an achievement. So it was really, really tough. But some of the patterns of play was exquisite to watch at the time. Liverpool were quality, and Gerrard and Suarez, you're right. These partnerships were some of the best partnerships that we've seen in the Premiership.
Yeah. I think we have a chance to see that with this team. The one silver lining, I think, through this really difficult period is that we do have a ton of talent in this team.
Great, yeah.
I think that's why we're frustrated, because we see what is at Arne Slot's disposal.
Yeah.
And it just hasn't been clicking. And, part of that is you brought in a ton of new players, and you got rid of a ton of old players. And, maybe I forgot that it just takes time for those players to gel together. You bring in 3 or 4 Cadillacs or Ferraris, and it's going to take time to tune them up and get them all in sync. And I'm hoping we can see that soon. So,
yeah, I think just touch on one last point as well, Sam. Ekatike. Yeah, this guy is bagging goals. He's a goal machine, Ekatike. He has that many chances. I think the only criticism I'd have of Ekatike, and this is not really a criticism, but if this guy worked on his finishing a little bit more, this guy is walking off with a brace or a hat-trick per game. He is that kind of, mate, the way he was running with that ball, driving that ball forwards, literally leaving defenders for dust. Yeah. This guy he has so much in his locker that if that finishing, if he starts putting these ones in the top corner, Robbie Fowler style, we've got a real player on our hands here. He is that good.
Do. Yeah, I made a comment earlier that, Ekatike, I think, is one of the players, maybe the only signing this summer that really had to come in and prove himself.
100%.
And, when he was purchased, he probably knew that the club was still pursuing Alexander Isak heavily.
Yeah.
And I think he knew he had to come in and fight for that position. And full credit to him, he has taken that number 9 role from the most expensive Premier League player of all time, Alexander Isak, and he has made it his own. Yeah. And he has said to Isak, "You're going to have to come take this from me." And that's looking like a really tough thing for Isak to do.
Yeah.
Because Ekatike has absolutely grabbed that striker position in this Liverpool team by the neck, and he's absolutely...
He's aggressive.
Fantastic.
You look at Isak. The issue with Isak at the moment, Sam, is that Ekatike is running harder than him, Ekatike is chasing the ball. He's fighting defenders. He's very physical. This guy is battling with centre-backs, pushing them around.
Yeah.
Isak is not doing that at the moment, and that's why Isak's struggling. Isak hasn't got the same physicality. He should have. They're about the same size in terms of the height-wise, pace-wise, but he's just... Isak's not quite there yet, and Ekatike really is, and I'm loving this kid. I think he's quality. I think he's a really good player.
Yeah, maybe Isak becomes a really good impact sub for 150 million.
What an impact sub.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he can get there. Well, good chat, Aaron. Well done. For all you watching out there, get your comments in below. As always, up the Reds.